Hello everybody, welcome to yet another class of IELTS. So I'm your tutor Preeti. Today we are going to understand some important tips and tricks regarding the speaking section. First of all, let's try to understand how the speaking section is framed. What are the different parts that we will see on the exam day? So the speaking section is divided into three parts, as you can see here: part 1, part 2 and part 3. Part 1 is kind of a warm up, and it is one of the easiest section. So what you have to remember for part 1 is that you should not speak too much. You should sound confident, and you should also sound comfortable, but you should not be giving a lot of information in part 1. You should only speak as much it has been asked by the examiner. No extra information in this part. Okay, what you can keep in mind: give direct answers. No roundabout answers in this. They are not testing your fluency in the first part. Coming on to the second part, this is a score determiner. Now the examiner is going to, evaluate you for your speaking skills. In this particular part, of course, you can speak as if you are relating a story, right? So this you can keep in your mind as if I'm speaking a story, keeping in mind the cue cards that have been given to you. Take notes, right, and speak for full 2 minutes. This is something that you should be practicing well before the examination. Okay, in examination stimulated conditions, put up your timer for 2 minutes and speak continuously for 2 minutes, right? So in part 2 also, when I say that it's like speaking a story, okay, narrating a story. So sometimes we also speak false thing in stories. All stories are not true. So if you don't know a particular topic on the exam day, don't just panic. Make up a story, okay, and just keep on speaking. Okay, this is very important tip. It is not necessary that everything has to be true, whatever you say in part 2. Now coming to part 3. What is part 3? It is now the examiner will start consolidating your score, and this is probably going to be very important for your overall score or band that you score in the speaking section. So in part 3, you are not giving any new questions. Okay, this is very important. Whatever questions were given to you, now you have to elaborate on to the ideas, right? Now they are going to see that how good you are in your natural fluency. When you speak, are you really fluent? Okay, how fluently you speak, then how deep your thought is, how deep and well organized your thoughts are, how deep and well organized thoughts you have. Okay, right, same idea. Whatever was asked in part 2, it now has to be built upon in part 3. So you should speak here fluently. Right, now let's keep in mind certain further journal tips which you should be keeping in mind when giving the speaking test. What is the first one? Your tone has to be informal. So there are two types of tone: formal tone and informal tone. So where is that we have to use a formal tone? Formal tone is to be used in the writing section. Whenever we are writing a letter, an essay, our tone has to be usually formal. But whereas in the speaking test, it is not to be formal. It has to be informal. What is the speaking test all about? It's like about having a conversation with a native speaker. See, why is that we have the speaking test? It is to test that once you go to the foreign country, are you really able to communicate with other people? That is the sole aim of the speaking test. So your tone should be informal, as if you are having a conversation with someone, right? Okay, another frequently asked question is that if I don't understand what my examiner is saying, can I ask the examiner to repeat a question? Yes, probably you can ask, but it should be not more than once or twice, right? Again, the logic is very simple. I have come to give a speaking exam, and I'm going to repeatedly ask my examiner, can you please repeat what you said? Can you please repeat the question? So what is the examiner going to infer from it? That probably I do not understand English properly, right? So you can ask once or twice, but asking this question again and again is a big no-no. Coming on to the next one, this is one thing very, very, on which I really stress upon. Do not give memorized answers. There's so many, IELTS instructors who tell you, okay, you just mug up certain phrases and you just, speak them on the speaking test. That's a big no-no. Why? Because they are testing how well you are in your conversation skill. And when your language is artificial and you speak certain specific memorized words, it sounds so repetitive, and this will not give you a good band. not even in a high band, right? And think you are memorizing those words, and there's so many other people also, they are memorizing the same words. So the examiner knows, right, that this student has mugged up these words. Okay. Coming on to the next step, we should be using abstract noun. So we have one entire class on this, how you can imbibe and include the abstract nouns in your spoken English. Coming on to the next step, first impression. Yeah, obviously, first impression do matter. The examiner is also a human being, right? The examiner is going to look how you are presenting yourself. What is your body language? Do you feel confident about yourself? Are you able to speak fluently and confidently? So first impressions also matter. Last but not the least, speak emotionally. Again, this is related to memorizing answers. If you have memorized your answers, you will speak artificial language. You will not use you will not use emotional words, right? For example, when we are speaking something in our native language, we use such a emotional language because we want to connect with people. But when you go for the IELTS speaking, suddenly your language is so artificial, right? And the examiner can equally make it out that this person is speaking a very, a very a language which is memorized. It is not very, fluent, as if a native speaker would have spoken. See, when the native speakers or speak, they use these emotional words. They express their ideas freely. That is what you have to do. Last but not the least, remember this exam is nothing but it's a conversation that you're going to have with a native speaker. Keep it informal, give a vent to your ideas and emotions freely to score well at the exam. That's it for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe our channel and see you in the classroom. Thank you so much.